Last December, 3 boys from Chicago allegedly raped a 12-year-old girl, and they filmed it on their smartphones and put it up on their Facebook accounts. They allegedly raped her at gunpoint, and 2 of the boys are 16, 1 was 15, and what's incredible is, according to the story, 2 of the guys had a gun. One guy had a gun in his pocket. The other guy, or I should say boy, was pointing the gun at the girl as she was being raped multiple times. She was sodomized. I mean, truly a horrendous story. But what's incredible about this story is, you know, they posted it on their Facebook pages expecting to be congratulated for it. You know what I mean? They expected it to be totally fine, no consequences, absolutely no problem with the fact that it's a brutal rape. They have weapons, and there's a real victim here.
It's almost the most illegal thing you could do.
It's the most illegal thing you can do. Look, this is very different from other rape cases that we've talked about. Fortunately, they have been arrested, they are in custody, and they are being tried as adults. Now, we can have a discussion as to whether or not we want to see them tried as adults. I think that they should be, especially considering the fact that, you know, they not only raped her, but they had no remorse. They just posted up online, and they're pointing a gun at her at the same time.
Right. There are good arguments to be made. I think Ben made it once on the show that the reason we don't try them as adults is because they're not adults, and that there's a reason for that, the age limit, right? But I think the main issue here is what's happening in society, where some, obviously I hope a small percentage, but some percentage think that this is cool and a glorious thing to do and something you should brag about. I could be wrong, but I don't think, even in the bad old days when there were probably far more rape, right? And it was covered up and we didn't know the extent of it, etc. I don't think people bragged about it. You know, in the same sense of like, hey, isn't that cool? We held this 12-year-old at gunpoint and then raped her. But like, there's something insidious that's growing through the culture a little bit where people think, like, hey, it's cool to do this.
What I wonder about is, maybe this has always been a real issue behind the scenes, but social media has kind of brought more attention to it because people are dumb enough. I mean, if you're dumb enough to brag about it in real life, maybe, you know, those people in your little bubble will hear about it, but they'll just kind of look away and pretend like it's not happening. But if you put it up on social media, then it goes beyond just your small group of friends. It's worldwide. People can watch that video and see what you've done.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because maybe back in the old days, they, you know, bragged about it to their buddies in the back of the woods, and they'd all get a good laugh out of it, and it was just as vile, but nobody saw it. Now, the way you brag about something or communicate about anything is on Facebook, where the whole world can see it. And look, criminals like this are not known for their intelligence. So my guess is these guys don't have a lot of, don't have very high IQ, let me put it that way. And so they're like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll put it on Facebook, not thinking you've done something intensely illegal and deeply immoral, and we will all hate you for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I never thought that people would brag so blatantly about stuff like this. You know, we thought bullying was a problem, but obviously rape is a really big issue within high schools and within colleges, and for a really long time it's been brushed under the rug. And I like that we're getting aware of what's really happening behind the scenes, but I don't know. As it happens, you kind of lose faith in humanity.
Yeah, and look, a lot of times, unfortunately, when it's student athletes, etc., people make excuses. Well, how do you know the girl didn't want it, or she got drunk, you know, it's her fault, whatever. Or they will, you know, they'll loosely refer to that without saying it word for word. In this case, they held a gun to her head. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure she didn't want it.
Yeah,
and
I'm
she was
pretty sure the
12.
12-year-old didn't want it, right?
Yeah.
And so there's no excuses, there's no bullshit, there's no nothing, right? But I'm telling you, look, we talked about it on an earlier show. I'm now repeating myself, but I really want to drive the point home. There's something, unfortunately, growing in the culture that makes some young boys and men think that this is like a cool thing to do.
Yeah.